My name is Janice, and I founded Mary Celebrant in 2019, providing civil celebrant services in Hong Kong. We are a team of dedicated and enthusiastic wedding consultants, providing services to clients 24/7 and around the clock. We are all trained in Hong Kong, obviously, and we are also trained in the UK and Australia, so we are familiar with the requirements in different countries. And also, more importantly, we are fluent in English, Cantonese, and Mandarin, and we can officiate weddings in all 3 languages. Across our team, we are able to provide 360-degree services to our clients, covering the application of the marriage registry and all the legal requirements to the actual officiating of the wedding. So we hope to be able to provide an all-rounded services to our clients. So basically, to get married in Hong Kong, marrying parties would need to give a notice of intended marriage, and this needs to be given at least 1 month before their wedding. So if you're from Hong Kong, if you reside in Hong Kong, that's pretty easy. All you need to do is basically fill in a form, and then we will make arrangements for you to come to our office to sign the application. But if you are resided overseas, then that's a little different. You can still do that, and actually, Hong Kong is a very popular place of getting married because of its flexibility. There's no visa requirement or there's no residency requirements. So basically, tourists can come to Hong Kong to get married even if they're just here for 1 day to do the actual ceremony. And also the good thing about Hong Kong is that you can actually apply for getting married from overseas. You can do that remotely. You do not need to be present in Hong Kong to do this application. All you need to do is be present for the actual ceremony. But there would be a little additional requirements that you will need to fulfill if you are applying from overseas. For example, you will need to get your application notarized by a notary public in your jurisdiction. But this still makes Hong Kong a very convenient place to get married because there's no visa requirements. Well, of course, you need a tourist visa to come here, but there's no marriage visa that you need to get, and also you can do everything remotely. Over the past 5 years, we've had extensive experience with serving clients from overseas, ranging from English-speaking countries such as the UK, US, Canada, Australia, to non-English or Chinese-speaking countries such as Indonesia, Vietnam, etc. So we are sufficiently familiar with the requirements of the documents and also other requirements from different jurisdictions. And also we are we're fluent in English, so basically we can officiate weddings in English. And also we are also very sensitive to different cultures. So if different couples from different countries have certain requirements that they want us to observe, we are happy to be able to play a part in that as well. Our biggest reward would definitely be the smiles we bring to our clients' faces. So in every wedding, the couple would obviously take the spotlight, and we want them to be able to do this worry-free. To do this, our team gives it our all in order for the couple to be able to enjoy this special moment. And we do this by diligently preparing all the documents and everything beforehand, before the actual ceremony. And we also have sufficient communication with the clients before the ceremony so that everyone basically knows what they're doing and when they need to be where during the ceremony. And also, we would officiate the entire ceremony and give them sufficient advice and also instructions so that the ceremony can move smoothly. A lot of times we receive messages of thanks after the ceremony, and every one of these words encourage us to move forward and to go further. And we also pledge to go beyond and above to serve our clients and to give them our very best. The quick answer is that same-sex marriage is not legal in Hong Kong. That means that you cannot get married legally in Hong Kong if you are a same-sex couple. And if you have registered for a legal binding marriage outside of Hong Kong where same-sex marriage is in fact legal, for example, Taiwan, Thailand, UK, Canada, you cannot come back to Hong Kong and register yourself as a legally married couple because Hong Kong does not recognize same-sex marriage at all. But then I think in recent years, the Hong Kong government has realized that there is a need to transform this area of law in order to be able to align itself with international standards and also these trends in recent years. So over the years, Hong Kong has moved from an absolute prohibition of same-sex marriage to the current moment, which is, it's still not legal in Hong Kong, but then the Hong Kong government does recognize same-sex couples' rights in certain areas. So for example, for the purposes of immigration visas, tax, and also public housing, same-sex married couples who are married overseas, who have contracted a legally binding marriage overseas, when they come back to Hong Kong, this marriage would actually be a valid marriage for the purposes of the aspects that I mentioned just now. So this basically means that if you're going to apply for public housing or if you are doing a tax return, you can apply as a married couple. But this is limited to the aspects that I mentioned just now and certain other limited aspects. This does not mean that a legally binding marriage contracted outside of Hong Kong by same-sex couple equals a valid marriage in Hong Kong. It does not. But then this sparks hope that the Hong Kong government is gradually going to transform this area of law to align with overseas trends and also to be able to give more rights to the LGBT community. In terms of transgender rights, there have been significant developments in Hong Kong recently. So earlier this year, the Hong Kong government implemented a revised policy whereby transgender individuals who have not undergone full sexual reassignment surgery can also change their genders displayed on their Hong Kong IDs if they fulfill certain conditions. And these conditions include they have lived as the opposite sex for the past 2 years and they continue doing so, and also they have undergone hormonal therapy in the past 2 years and they continue doing so. So this is a milestone for transgender rights in Hong Kong because that basically means a transgender individual who has not undergone full sexual reassignment surgery, they can still live and be identified as the gender that they feel that they should be identified by. And this would also enable them to be able to get married to their partner who might have otherwise been of the same gender. So I believe that there's hope that one day the Hong Kong government would realize the need for legalizing same-sex marriage in Hong Kong, and we look forward to that day. Before that day though, same-sex couples from Hong Kong, if they want to get married, they basically have two choices. The first one is to go abroad and to go to a country where same-sex marriage is legal and they can get married there. But as I mentioned just now, this marriage would not be legally binding or valid in Hong Kong. The second option that same-sex couples can choose is to get married virtually. So they can do this anywhere in the world in front of an officiant from Utah, USA. And so the celebrant needs to be in Utah, but then the couple can be anywhere in the world and they can do this via video conference. And this is basically a result from COVID. It's one of the policies from COVID and it's still in place at the current moment. So basically a couple can have their wedding ceremony in Hong Kong, while the couple is in Hong Kong, and they can do this via video conference where the officiant is in Utah. But of course, again, this marriage would not be legally valid in Hong Kong. But then the good thing about this is that they don't need to fly out of Hong Kong. They can do this in Hong Kong or anywhere else in the world where they're situated. And then after they've gotten legally married abroad, these same-sex couples, they can come back to Hong Kong and they can do a vows renewal ceremony. So a vows renewal ceremony would enable the couple to be able to freely express their love and commitment to each other in front of their loved ones and friends and family. And this would enable the family and friends to be able to share their joy as well. So we have a lot of experience with officiating vows renewal ceremonies, and we hope to be able to bring this joy to our couples. So in terms of same-sex marriage laws in Hong Kong, we will continue to watch the space and we will keep everyone posted. Civil Celebrant's role is not to do a stunning performance on stage. Rather, we are here to ensure that all the legal requirements are fulfilled so that the couple can become legally married. So basically, the first and foremost requirement that I think couples should look for in a civil celebrant is sound knowledge of the law and also diligence and also attentive to details. And also, civil celebrants are required to observe the marriage ordinance when they officiate their weddings as well. And that basically means that the legal part of the ceremony needs to be solemn and it needs to be sufficiently clear. Of course, the other parts of the ceremony can be lighthearted, it can be humorous, and we also encourage our couples to add, humorous parts and also some banter in their vows as well. But the formal legal parts need to be solemn according to the marriage ordinance So we think that couples should be able to look for this in their choices of civil celebrants. And I would also encourage couples to book civil celebrants early, perhaps maybe 6 months ahead of your wedding, especially if you're applying from overseas, because there are additional steps that you need to do if you're applying from overseas. So technically, the latest time you can book a civil celebrant is around 1 month before your wedding, because that's the latest time you can submit your application to the marriage registry. But then we would not advise for that. We think 6 months is a safe time, because civil celebrants slots, they do fill up pretty quickly, especially for popular seasons during the end of the year. So yeah, we would encourage couples to book civil celebrants early. And if you have any questions about civil celebrant service scope and also the extent, we would encourage couples to ask any questions you want to the service providers, so you can choose the best service provider for yourself. I've always loved going to weddings, just being immersed in that atmosphere of love and joy. And I thought to myself, what an honor it would be if I could actually play a part in it. So as soon as I met the requirements, I applied to be qualified as a civil celebrant of marriages in Hong Kong. Mary Mary was started right before COVID. So COVID impacted the wedding industry very significantly. A lot of weddings were canceled, postponed, or maybe there were last-minute changes. But of course, as Hong Kongers, we are known for our resilience and creation. So Mary Mary, as a team, we quickly formulated creative solutions for our clients to be able to still continue their weddings, because as Chinese people, sometimes they have these auspicious time that they really want to be able to do their ceremony at. So it would not be ideal to postpone, but then we had to work around the social distancing measures. So we, did a lot of brainstorming, and we also did a lot of communication with our clients. And eventually, a lot of the weddings that were meant to be postponed, we managed to get them through during COVID. Of course, the sizes were a little different. Initially, they might have envisaged a 300 people wedding, and it became maybe a 30 people wedding. But we still managed to go through it. So I think the COVID experience, it equipped us with even more armor to be able to face any challenges that we may encounter in the future. So if you have any further questions about getting married in Hong Kong, whether you're from Hong Kong or overseas, or even if you have any questions about same-sex marriage, or even just about weddings in general, please feel free to message us in our Instagram, or you can message us through our WhatsApp as well. Thank you for watching.